What's going on? Day 32. Today's a pretty important day because today's September 8th, and I had my last dose the night of August 7th. So August 8th was the first day that I quit Kratom, and it's now September 8th. So a full month, you could say. 32 days, but a full month. And I'm trying to give you guys an update on whatever I'm going through, what I'm feeling. I feel normal. I feel basically pretty much back to normal. Sleep is still a little shoddy. Sleep for 3-4 hours, wake up, use the bathroom, wake up again after an hour and a half. Wake up probably 3-4 times every night. And the main thing is I can't stay up late. It's like 10:45, 11 o'clock, and I'm like, man, like I'm staying up too late. Shouldn't be doing that. But I've adjusted to my sleep schedule. Everything's basically back to normal. My sleep schedule, I've adjusted to it. I'm gonna make little adjustments here and there, try to get to sleep a little bit earlier. Hitting some cardio here and there, but really, any withdrawal symptoms are totally gone. As you guys know, I'm not feeling. I don't feel anxious. I don't feel any of that. I feel normal. Feel back to normal. My energy is back up there. I just watched my boy D-Boy. He had made a video, I think yesterday or the day before. Good one. Had a lot of info. He was talking about doing a collab for sure in a few months. Let's do it. I started off making these videos for me. I wasn't even thinking about really anybody else. I figured, I might get a couple of views and that's it. But I'm making them for me just so it's out there and I'm accountable for what I'm doing. And a lot of people have commented, like, you're helping me. These videos are great, this and that. So it's, it makes me feel good that I'm helping other people out. I'm trying to make videos as often as I can when I think about it. So I'm glad it's helping people out, and I'm glad people are noticing. But D-Boy had talked about something that hit home with me, and he just mentioned it real quick, but it kind of hit home with me. He said that around a certain point after you quit, whatever you're quitting, me, it was Kratom. He said you can probably get addicted to withdrawals. And he said he'll get into that. And I'm sure he knows way more about this subject than I do. But and I've never really heard of that, getting addicted to withdrawals. And it made me think, like, he said after after 2 weeks, after quitting for 2 weeks, it's like a mental game. And it really is a mental game, because 90% around of your physical withdrawals, they're gone. So it's all mental after that, whether you want to relapse, whether you're getting cravings. For me in particular, I haven't had many cravings. There was like 1 or 2 Fridays where I drove past the little Kratom shop, because this shop it just sells Kratom. They got a couple other things, but it's a Kratom shop, like 99% Kratom. And I drove by and I said, Friday afternoon, a Kratom shot, extract, kind of sounds good. But, that craving came and left real quick and I forgot about it. I remember like the first and second night of withdrawals and I said, I'm good. Yeah. Peace. But at this point, day 30, anybody that has never taken drugs or have never withdrawn from anything, you think day 30, you're done, 100%. And in a way, that's sort of kind of true as far as the physical aspect. But you do, me at least, I almost, for the past couple weeks, like anticipate my symptoms, whatever symptoms I'm going to have. And even though they're basically non-existent in the day, when the night comes, and that's when I had the worst time, was at night. I had a rough week, at night. real rough. And then the following week, my second week, it was rough during the day because I wasn't getting any sleep at night. So it almost switched. First week was real rough at night. Second week, from what I remember, you guys probably know better than me because I haven't really watched my videos since I made them. But it's a mental game, and I almost anticipate my symptoms at night. And I'm anticipating not getting sleep every night because I'm not taking anything to help me out. I'm not taking any sleeping pills. I'm not taking anything to relax me. I'm not. I drank a couple of beers one night. No, 2 nights I drank a few beers. One night I got kind of buzzed up, and none of that helped me, at all. If anything, it just jacked up my stomach. The liquor did, and so I think that there's a lot going on in your mind, your brain chemistry. So that's just what I've seen. I've been anticipating not sleeping very good, and that's basically the last lingering symptom that I have. But yeah, that's basically it. I think that if I can kind of put it into my head, like, all right, it's time to start getting some good sleep now. Time to start getting some good sleep, because you have an internal alarm clock, and I've used it before. I don't know how to tap into it. I'm not like that into it, but I know a few times in my life I've told myself I need to wake up at this time, and I've woken up at that time in the morning. Your brain is so powerful. So me anticipating not sleeping good every night, that's not, I'm already setting myself up for failure. So that's just something I need to work out with in my own head. And it's not something that I stress out about or anything like that. It's just as I'm going to bed, I'm like, all right, I'm going to wake up 3-4 times. That is what it is. But, little changes here and there you need to make, just like anybody else that's alive. You need to make little adjustments in your head. You need to make little adjustments to your schedule, little adjustments to every single part of your life. So, and being, high for the last 5 years, it was kind of like I didn't really have to make adjustments, for them. I did, for sure. I had to work. I had to do everything. I lived my whole life, but it just seemed like it seemed like I was in a cloud almost, I wasn't completely messed up on something else. I've taken my fair amount of drugs, so I know what it feels like to be real messed up. But I was just in this haze, this cloudy haze for years. So, if I was feeling stressed at all, I'll take a healthy dose of Kratom. If I wanted to get some good sleep that night, healthy dose of Kratom. I would take a really big dose at like 8 o'clock. Stay up kind of late, and I knew it was the weekend. I didn't have anything to do the next day. And then I would take a really, really heavy dose, super heavy dose. I probably took easily 40 grams before bed, in 2 shots. Real heavy dose again at like 11:30. And then so by the time that kicked in real good, and I'm like already feeling drowsy and sleepy, because anybody that's taken a heavy dose of Kratom knows it'll knock you the hell out. You'll go to sleep. And my body was so used to it that, I wouldn't throw up at night or anything like that. If I took that dose during the day, for sure, I'd be blowing chunks. But I forget what even the hell I was saying. Oh, yeah. So if I wanted to sleep good, I'll take a super heavy dose, and I would sleep from like 1 in the morning to 9:30 in the morning, which sounds like good sleep. But even my wife would be like, why is this guy sleeping at 9:30, 10 o'clock? Because for me, that's out of character. That's totally out of character. But, you're not in a haze anymore. And I think a lot of people, somebody had commented on here and said, around day 35, 40, you start saying to yourself, like, nah, Kratom wasn't that bad. It has its place in my life. it had its place in my life. It would help me out with social situations. You can justify whatever you're using. You know, I've heard meth heads that were face sunken in, collarbone showing, talking about like, I'm good, I'm making money, I can function on this stuff, and it's like, yeah, you might be making some money, but you're killing yourself. Like, you look terrible. So you can justify using anything, you know. And I'm not here to knock anybody, but I just legit, I want to be healthy, and I want to see other people be healthy, especially my people, my family, because those are my loved ones. I want everybody to be healthy and, happy as you can be. I heard something the other day. I think it was Jordan Peterson. He said, being happy is great, but your goal shouldn't be happiness, because then you're always chasing happiness. So the days that you're not happy, there's going to be days, the weeks, months that you're not happy. And there's going to be some of those in your life. The older you get, the more you realize, the more you go through stuff. People have been through tons of stuff as a kid, but I'm the average person, you start going through real life situations the older you get. And, he says, pursue, being a person of value, whether it's you're valuable to your family, your community, to yourself, like be valuable. And if happiness comes along, which in a lot of situations, you'll be happy if you're a person of value, dignity, then happiness comes. But if you're always searching happiness, I think for me, that's kind of what got me in my Kratom situation, because I was an unhappy person. And that's kind of a different story. I was kind of an unhappy person because of a death that happened in my life. But so I started using real heavy, and I just wanted to be happy. I think that's kind of what it was. But instead of chasing that happiness, I should have chased, maybe something more valuable, learning to deal with death, or, your life, whatever you have to deal with. Family life, taking care of your family. Because when you're pursuing only your own happiness, and some people might not agree with me with what I'm saying, but if I'm only chasing my own happiness, there's other people around you that you're probably neglecting, Just something to think about. I don't even know how I got on that emotional subject. Man, the first week and a half, I was super emotional, real emotional. And then it just kind of stopped, I haven't really gotten in that emotional sense till like right now, but it's not a bad thing, I think it was my mom that had told me that. She was like, yeah, whatever you're going through, if you feel like crying, let it out. That means it needs to get out, Now, if you're crying every day because they made your Starbucks wrong, then yeah, that's silly. But that's, you probably have to let something else out if that's making you cry. There's something, your body tells you what you need to do, Just like my body told me, like, hey, cut it. The Kratom, you need to cut it. Cut it off. Because there's, I was hurting. I was starting to feel, not starting, I was feeling the effects, A big one, I don't hear it all the time, but Kratom, and I might have talked about this, Kratom makes you constipated. Super constipated. I'd go sometimes 2 or 3 days, and I used to eat pretty heavily, like not crazy. My appetite's definitely bigger now, but man, Kratom constipates you, like chronic constipation. I haven't looked up how it jacks your body up, but I'm sure I got something. you know, I'm sure it messed me up in some way, and I'm still feeling the the little effects. That's another one. You quit kratom, you'll get the runs for like 2 weeks straight. So get you some liquid IV or Gatorade ready. And of course, mine was kind of more extreme kratom use than like the average person, but yeah, constipates you bad, and I know that's terrible for your gut. I know it messes up your gut pretty bad. And mine's still here to this day. I used to eat a lot of spicy food. And now, I eat something that's like, okay, so let's say on the spice level, 1 to 10, I used to eat like a 7 regularly. Pretty good spice. We're in Colorado, so there's a lot of spicy food. Green chili and red chili and stuff. And I used to eat like, good spicy stuff all the time. Now I'm like, I'll eat a 4, maybe a 5, and it'll jack up my stomach. And they got a festival coming up, the Pueblo Chili Festival down in Pueblo, Colorado. We go every year, but yeah, it might jack up my stomach, but I'm going. But all right, I'm starting to ramble. I appreciate everybody. If there's anything anybody needs advice on, comment on it, and I'll make a video. Not do my best. I'll make a video about it. Whether it's about withdrawals, anything emotional going on with myself, physical issues brought on by kratom. You name it. Anything else you guys could think of, comment, and I'll make a video out of it. I think I'm pretty much to the point where my days are going to be about the same. I might come back in 15 days or 20 days and be like, hey, sleep has gotten even better. I'm not waking up much. But, D Boy, he had said, with opioid withdrawal, you hit a certain stage and it's just kind of slowly getting better every day. And then kratom, it's a little more inconsistent. Your day 11 might be great, and then day 12 and 13 weren't as good. It went down a little bit, and then day 14 is good, 15 is good, and then 16 is not as good. That's definitely the way it is. It's inconsistent, and my sleep has been like that. So yeah, I'll make more videos on like probably certain subjects. Like this, day 33, but this is the subject of the video. I'll still give you guys updates on how I'm doing, but it seems like for the most part, I'm good. I'm 30 days in. I have no want to use again. Honestly, don't. I had those 2 cravings that I can remember, those 2. And one was a little stronger than the other. It was like, because man, if I got to drink green powder, kratom, like I just will not do it. That's a big factor. Not huge. My life, my overall, the health of my life, that's number 1. But just thinking of like dumping kratom into water again, swishing it around, that sounds horrible, legit horrible. I used to work at this place, and a coworker of mine would bring in a couple pills, not Vicodin. Oh yeah, they might have been Vicodin. They were either Vicodin or Percocet. They bring in like 2 for me and 2 for them. They had a ton of it. And we used to work the night shift. So they, dropped 2 on my my little workstation. And then they had told me one day, just put it under your tongue and let it dissolve and then swallow it. So I did that. And then, but sometimes, you don't let it dissolve all the way. And then I would chew it up a little bit and it tasted terrible. And just the taste of chewing up, the Percocet was like, it just left a bad taste in my mouth, Same thing with kratom. I have zero want to drink kratom again. Like it tastes terrible. And I know what some people are thinking, like, oh, they got flavored ones and they got little gel packs and they got the little shots and all this. Like, I'm good. I had my share of all of it. I've taken it all. Pills, pill extracts, extract shots, these little gel packs, powder. I mean, I've taken so much powder. If I added up how much powder I've taken, it's nuts. I went through a half kilo every 2 weeks, literally. Yeah. Like 12 days, 11 or 12 days. I'd buy a half a kilo every 11 or 12 days. So I don't know. You do the math. I've had my share. I'm good. But I'll turn this video off. I know I'm rambling. Everybody have a good one. Thanks for listening.